Welcome to the Gaming Coop, the best space to talk about video games and stuffing. My name is Chris. Let's introduce today's players. First, player 1. It's time we take a trip back to 2011 for some classic arrow to the knee funny ha-has. It's Kelsey. Next, player 2. Things are tense here on Rainbow Road. It's neck and neck for the first place spot as they come around the final curve of the race. They're going back and forth. Oh, what's this? Someone pulled out a blue shell with a clever trick and at maximum speed. The first place winner is Walsh.
It's me.
Yeah,
that was great.
Player 3. I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die. It's Anthony.
Oh.
Player 4 is spicier than the pinup of a jalapeno. It's Gabe.
Oh my. I wonder who did that one.
Player 5. A family is all gathered together to celebrate Thanksgiving Day. The children stole their dad's crossword puzzle and are loudly fighting over a 5-letter word for non-shiny paint. Finally, the mom shouted, "Enough! It's Matt!"
Ah.
Leedle.
I love it.
Thank you.
Dear Player 6, hey baby girl, are you on camera? Because every time Kelsey looks at you, she smiles. It's Jess.
Hi.
Yes, welcome to the Gaming Coop, and we do have a special guest this time around. Welcome, Jess. Sorry for the intro. So we are here. It is a Thanksgiving edition of the Gaming Coop. So we figured this month's theme would be games that we're thankful for, which is really vague because overall, that's what this show is for, is just talk about games that we're thankful for. So we have 6 games to talk about, and yeah, very excited to get right into it. We are going to start with Kelsey to talk about the game that comes out on every single console till the end of time, Skyrim.
Because it's fantastic.
Yes.
So don't question it.
Yeah, no, it is what it is.
But the reason why I am thankful for Skyrim is because I really wasn't super into gaming. Really, I wouldn't even consider myself now like a hardcore gamer or anything, but I had done, like, I had gamed a little bit when I was younger. We had a console or two, whatever. I played my Game Boy Advance a lot. I had my DS. But I kind of was into other things. I was online a lot. I wasn't really playing games. And then I met my soon-to-be husband 3 weeks out.
Hi.
And
Right.
he's a gamer. And he kind of like tried to get me into his hobby. And I don't know if Skyrim was the first thing that you started me with. Do you remember? I don't remember.
I probably tried to make you play like League of Legends and Dishonored, but I actually remember I was playing Skyrim at like the dining room table, and you're like, "Hey, what's that?" And then we went up and we picked you up a box copy.
Cool. Yeah, so then that's, I guess, how I was introduced to it. But I was terrified at first. I never played a open world, anything, role-playing game, whatever. And I remember that I was absolutely freaking terrified of the wolves. Like, I came literally after the intro when you come out of the cave that leads you out of the Helgen fortress, and you come out and you make your way to the first city, and along the way there's like a little pack of wolves that come out that are like some of your first little enemies in the game, and I absolutely could not. I would hand the controller off, and now looking back on how I play that game and what I eventually became later in that game, the wolves mean nothing in the game, really. They are such low tier enemies for the most part, but I was just so unequipped and had no idea what I was doing. And then I became so obsessed and in love with the game as a whole and how you could explore and really tailor yourself to whatever you wanted, that it kind of just was really my first breach into gaming on that level. And then also a deep love of, I mean, at the time I was an undergrad and I was studying medieval literature and I was super into Beowulf and all these other things, so it very much like aligned with things I was interested in anyway outside of the gaming sphere. So it just worked out where it was something that became my love. And I like, it's funny that you should say that it's going to come out in every console to the end of time, because you literally were over my house yesterday and I pulled out my Switch and you were like, you play this on the Switch? And it was just sitting there in my library and I'm like, I think I'm a level 1. Like, I don't think I ever actually played it. I just felt extremely compelled to get it for everything because I love it so much. So it's just kind of my, like, it's my go-to. Like, I will always fall back on it, I guess. And so I'm very thankful for it being, like, my first kind of adventure into bigger gaming that isn't, like, little handheld stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. I would love to hear from the group, because, like, I feel like Skyrim was like the biggest thing since sliced bread when it came out. Like it was a massive game, and I'm just curious about like other people's.
And I was late to the game. Like I was late.
Yeah.
It came out the November after I graduated high school, and I knew so many people I had graduated with that would talk about it on Facebook, online, whatever. And I was like, what's a Skyrim? Like, so I don't think that I really started playing it until like maybe 15, 16, I think. Like it was.
But yeah, like 4 or 5 years after.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I can talk.
I can't believe it's 2011 that it came out, man. That's insane.
Yeah, really. I can talk about my experience with the game.
Yeah.
So I got it for I got it for PC when it came out, and my computer was not equipped to handle it, so I didn't really play it that much. And then my brother had gotten it for PlayStation 3 and played it most of the time. I think I played a few hours of it, but he really got sunk into it, and I was just kind of like, it doesn't seem like my thing. I started playing it when it came out on Switch, and really, really loved it. I never fully beat it, fully experienced it. I got pretty far. Like, I did the whole dragon thing. I chose a side in the war, those kinds of things. But I enjoyed it overall. I'd be interested to see what it's like playing a different style. That's one thing that I really appreciate. I spend way too much time on the character creation. That part's very important to me.
Do not even ask Anthony about me with character creation. When I first play the game, and every time I would take a new role out, it takes me like an hour and a half to decide on my character. Like every time.
Oh, that's low for me.
Yeah, it's
legitimately
a lot.
I feel it. Curious for the people who have played it, who do you usually side with in the war, the Empire or the Stormcloaks?
So I think this is actually a really fun topic, because I always think it's really funny to see people fight online about whether they think which side they think is more like the American, like Republicans versus Democrats. That's always
I didn't even think about
so
that.
funny to me to watch, because people like argue both sides of it. I always side with the Empire.
Me as
Same
well.
Here. Same here. Anyone Stormcloak supporter?
I don't know if anyone else has played the game in this.
I have played. I've played, but I can't say anything until I talk about my experience.
Ulfric Stormcloak killed a man with the voice. Like, if you side with the Stormcloaks, you're a bastard.
He's also really racist.
Yes, he is also racist. That's true.
Okay, so that's whenever I see people argue that like the Empire are the Republicans, I'm like, okay, this is how I look at it. I think that the Stormcloaks are more like, say, conservative and more about like, this is our land, and libertarians. And then the Empire are like the shitty establishment Democrats. Like, I don't love them, but like they're better than you people, and so like I side with them. But yeah,
cool. I'm down with that interpretation.
Yeah. All right, Walsh.
So, I got it, I want to say probably around, like, 2012. And I've gotten better at playing video games since I was a dummy child. And I went through the character creation, and I think I just didn't understand what was going on or where to go or what to do. So I definitely just played that game just all open world. I would just, talk with everybody, do it, whatever. Just really explore the whole time. I did one game, and I ended up. I mean, I know it's a huge meme, but I ended up killing a chicken, and then I ended up saving over the game without realizing. Um, and I think like I was basically like branded as like a horrible criminal for like the rest of the game. And then I was very hesitant to go back, but so I restarted the whole thing, and then I still didn't know what to do, and I think I ended up like killing somebody or doing something that completely impeded like my story progress, and I didn't know what to do, and I have not been back there since. I'm very scared.
So that is actually not
like,
dissimilar to Chris's.
Yeah.
Experience.
I was gonna say like this is not Skyrim is not a game that I would necessarily say would be like the first thing I would play at all. I do think it's a great game in the sense of like for what it is, and I think I understand why so many people love it. It's just not my type of thing, but I know that Kelsey has encouraged me to play it before, and I'm like, okay, let's give it a shot. And when one of the few times that I've played it, I believe it was either the first or second time I ever played it. I like left the caves, like after you escape with whoever, the Imperials or Stormcloaks, whatever, you would like leave the cave, that's there, and then you walk down to the village that's there. And like you said, Walsh, I like killed a chicken and I just started an all-out war within the town by just killing that chicken. Like every single person and their mother were going after me with their weapons because I killed one of the chickens that was there. I believe that was the case. Kelsey could correct me on the details.
Yeah, no, it was literally, I think it was your first time, and it was literally like you walked into the town and you were like, oh wait, I can like use fire, and you fucking like barbecued a chicken right in the street and like you just zapped it. And then like I think because you had left with oh shit, I forget his name, the Empire guy, I'm forgetting his name right now. I don't know,
I forget what it is.
I forget what his name was, but you leave with the Empire guy, and so because you did that, you were like your allegiance was with him in the town already, and his family that were right there. And then right across the street is the woman screaming that she saw a dragon, and I think that her family is the allegiance is with the Stormcloaks. So because you zapped a chicken in front of both parties, they were fucking like, oh my god, the guy killed a chicken, and they just started to literally kill each other. And like you were a Kaji.
Yeah, that's right. It wasn't even that they were coming after me.
No.
They started going after each other for me killing a chicken.
Because your allegiance was with the other people, so because the Stormcloaks saw that, they wanted to come after you, but then because the guy, and I'm a bad Skyrim player because I swear I would know his name any other time, and his family like ran out of their house and they were like, what are you doing? And it just became like a whole, and you literally ran in the opposite direction. You were a Kaji and your hands were on fire and you just took off because you didn't know what to do. And then the guards were there, so then you started swinging and you hit a guard, and then you like your bounty just kept climbing in the corner. It was chaos. And then you like you just logged out. Like it was
I was over it because I was just
and then you've literally, I don't think that you've played it since. Like that was it. Like it was done.
Well, so I did play it one other time.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was
Try it
through
again.
Steam. It was through I was able to, because Steam has that thing where like you can share libraries with people that are like shared internet network, I'm pretty sure. And so I was playing on your version of Skyrim, and I played on God mode, so I was
Right.
I could just explore and not have to worry about death. Like I think that was what was going on there.
Yes.
It was it was cool. I if I could just chill in an open world setting like that, like I'm good, you know. I like it. It's very nice.
We can absolutely move on to the next person after I say this, but I almost can't play it on PC because I get so into all the mods that I wind up with like 57 children. I can phase through everything. I go from being a level 1 character to like 11,400 character in like 20 minutes because I've just modded the shit out of everything, and I like get all the skills. So it's not even fun for me anymore. I like walk up to like the enemy, like the Black Knight or whatever the hell his name is, shows up everywhere. That like if you're a high level character, he'll just show up somewhere, and I think the Ebony Knight or something,
Sure.
and he's like a very high level enemy, and he just shows up and I like blink and he dies. Like it's not like it's not even like a challenge anymore. So I kind of need to play it on console so I don't allow myself to mod everything so horribly. I have like 15,000 estates everywhere in every city, thousands of kids, concubines and wives. Like it becomes a whole thing. Anyway,
You just have a kingdom that you
it's
rule over.
it's too much. I go too hard.
Any other thoughts on Skyrim from anyone else?
I played it on PSVR, and it was really cool to like actually hold a sword and like bring it close to your face and like look at the writing on it. But holy fuck! Sorry, I don't know if we can curse here. If
You
not,
can,
we can
you
edit
can,
that out.
absolutely.
Totally fucking can.
Yeah.
Holy
Much as you
fuck!
fucking want to.
The movement is nausea-inducing because you're either like you're pumping your arms up and down, and that's like locomotion, and so you're like speed walking around at a really weird pace, or you're like fishing for it. You like push a certain button on the controller, and then you move it forward and back, and then your character teleports. So I teleported my way up a mountain, but then I'm like, oh god, how did I end up here? So, very cool. Not sure I'd play it again. But 10 out of 10, a little something for everyone.
And Jess, what were we gonna say?
So Skyrim is not for me. It's not my I played it twice, I think, back in 2016. Because it's my boyfriend's favorite game of all time, and he plays it on Xbox, and he can just sit there for hours and play this game. So he's like, Jess, you have to play this game. It's so exciting. It's so cool. Like, you could kill a chicken, and like the world will explode. So I think I spent 2 hours making my character, and whatever. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a wizard, all D&D style. And then I started playing, and then I had no idea what to do. Like, I was like, I need them to tell me where to go, what to do, who I have to kill, whatever. Like, I was just lost. And then I think I made it to the magic school, and I don't know how I made it there. I think I fumbled on my way upon there. And I was just like, and then they're like, you can do this magic stuff. And then I was like, I think I'm done now. Let me put the controller.
Who here joins the Dark Brotherhood of the there's a part of the game where it's the Dark Brotherhood, and I'm just curious of who
don't know if anybody really.
Things?
No. I have the reason why I'm saying that. I want to ask first.
The Dark Brotherhood is different than the werewolves, right?
That's the Brotherhood you're thinking of.
That's the regular Brotherhood, the non-Dark Brotherhood.
Yes. Oh
That's
no,
the
is it the
Brotherhood.
family or something? No, it's the Kelsey. What's it called? Companions.
The Companions is a faction
I do
their.
I do that one almost every time.
Yeah, so the problem, I don't know if you're really gonna find anybody who like really, really plays Skyrim if they would opt out of the Dark Brotherhood quest unless they're suddenly really against like killing, which why are you playing Skyrim then? Because it's kind of like if you decide not to opt into doing the Dark Brotherhood quest line, it just kind of stops. I don't know if it comes up again later. Like
Okay.
Similar to establishment Democrats, when you play Skyrim, you can ally with everybody.
take that, Biden Harris.
Wow, I love the political takes. So the reason why I ask is because we and this is just to wrap up the segment. We did a Skyrim themed birthday party for Kelsey last year. And I just remember one of the tasks was that I think Anthony was the one that had to do it. There's in the game there is like a certain code, like they're gonna give you a prompt and you have to say something in response in order to gain entrance to the Dark Brotherhood.
Like it's like a password. They ask you a question and you need to answer correctly.
Yeah, and so that's like before, like, so it was a surprise birthday party. So like before she entered the house, I think it was Anthony that stood by the door and then whispered like, "What is the meeting?" Like I forget what the fuck whatever it was. But it was so bizarre, but I loved it.
I think it was like, "What is the music of life?" or something, and the answer is silence, right?
Silence, my brother.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Whatever,
Very
it's a cult.
creepy.
It's an assassin cult. And they gave me a birthday party about
Silence,
it.
my brother.
All right. That was a nice beefy discussion about Skyrim. We now
Beefy.
turn the page to a brighter game that maybe, I don't know, I think that maybe may induce even more rage than Skyrim. And that is Super Mario Party. Walsh, take it away.
Okay, so you asked for a game that we are thankful for.
Yes.
and I am thankful, and I fucking hate Super Mario Party.
Okay, good.
I feel like that's everybody's relationship with it. I haven't played every Mario Party ever. I think my first, me first finding out about a Mario Party was me as a kid seeing Mario Party 8 on the Wii, and I'm like, whoa, what? But it really wasn't until Jess allowed me to borrow her Switch with Super Mario Party, where I really got to play a lot on my own. I guess without getting too much into that, the game as a whole, it's a lot of fun, and I really enjoy. I think it's with Super Mario Party especially. It's really a lot of what you kind of make of it. With kind of the people that you play with and what you do. I think that the game itself is very fun, and the mini games are some of them are okay, but some of them really stand out to me.
Sort of fun.
Yeah. Some of them are just a little bit maddening, or they're just like based around like a motion gimmick. But other ones are fun, even if they are just based around a different motion gimmick. Other than that, though, I think my big complaints of it is the maps. It's only 4, and the Thwomp one is like, okay. The Bomb one's the only decent one. The Fruit Paradise one is no good, and then there's the Gold one, which is like you play once and then you're like, okay, I don't want to touch that again. That was fun for now. Maybe I'll play that map again in like 40 games later, but I really only find myself going back to the Bomb one and the Thwomp one if I really need to switch it up.
Yeah. So out of curiosity, and this goes to you, Walsh, but also to the rest of the group. I guess, like, how many Mario parties different Mario Party games have you guys played?
I've only played 2, Mario Party 8 and Super Mario Party.
I've played at least enough to have a solid opinion on. I've played everyone since 8, which are the bad ones. All the ones since 8.
Yeah.
And out of them, I like a lot of 8's boards. And Super Mario Party, like the minigames for. If you could somehow combine the 2, I'd be totally cool. But that's my experience.
Yeah.
I've played 3. I've played Super Mario Party on the Switch, and then Mario Party 8's on the Wii, and then I played the DS one. I think the DS one's my favorite. Like, that one has the best boards, and it has a story mode, and it's fantastic. So the whole plot is that Bowser turns you into little game pieces. So you're the size of little Monopoly pieces, and you have to go and obviously defeat Bowser. That's the whole point.
Sure.
They have the cutest little maps. I never say this guy's name right. Comics Library, where you go around. He has all these little curse squares, which is awesome. That you land on and makes the game really difficult and annoying, but you love it anyway. And then you have Toadette's music room, and it goes around. Instead of stars, you gotta collect little music notes, and you go around and there's little music notes type things. And that one I think is my best, and also has the best mini games. I'm a master at those mini games because I just play them all the time, every day.
Nice. Yeah, I would say for me it was I really only played a lot of Super Mario Party, as in terms of the multiplayer aspect. It's considered probably the worst Mario game ever made, but I actually do enjoy it. Mario Party Advance. I enjoyed the fuck out of that game. And it was because it was this layer of you play on the board and the goal is to, however long you are alive, to help people with tasks. on like that, or like help different NPCs with tasks and things that are happening, and like some of it has to relate to doing a mini game. Some involve like buying an item in a shop on one part of the board and then bringing them that item. Some is actually trying to make a love connection between two characters. It's fucking weird as shit, but it's great, and I loved. I enjoyed it. I understand why it's shit in a lot of people's eyes, but I don't know. It's just one of those that's like it's charming enough where I could have enjoyed it. But that's I've never been too big of a Mario Party fan. Other than that, I'm a Wii Party boy personally. But that's just me.
You're a wee little party boy.
Yeah,
just a wee little party boy
Wee little party lad.
for the McParty.
Any other party listings before we move forward with
Well,
talking about Super Mario Party?
I wanted to go around and ask everybody, without like focusing on it too much, who's your guys' usual go-to in Mario parties?
Monty
Shy Guy.
Mole.
I usually pick Wario, Waluigi. I usually play the bad guys.
I like to play Koopa Troopa or Dry Bones. I prefer Dry Bones, but I can play either.
In Super Mario Party, it's Bowser. In most other games, I usually do Waluigi.
Wait, when I said Monty Mole, am I thinking of the right game?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Yeah. We've all played with you at least at one point. We know that
Because I never won, and then Monty Mole would always just be like, "Mrr." I just would lose every time, and he would just be like, "Mrr."
you did.
It was so
you did
sad.
win one time before, by the way.
I
do
won one time. Yes, once.
Yes, Monty Mole. So Monty Mole has a little badge of honor for that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It happened.
Lately, I've either played as Bowser Jr. or Pom Pom.
Pom Pom representation.
Pom Pom is fun. When I want to change a pace, I usually play as her. Bowser's Die is just way too good in Super Mario Party that I can't play anyone else.
I feel guilty playing as Bowser, so I play as Bowser Jr.
Yeah, I think, but my opinions, I think just generally about the Super Mario Party is that it's good, it's fun, it's a good time for when people like are over and we play games, and like it's an enjoyable experience, but it's not like Jess was mentioning earlier about how some of these games had story modes. There's no story mode in Super Mario Party unless I'm mistaken.
No, that's not.
And so
no, they
really,
like to pretend there is,
objectives.
but no.
Yeah.
But what about the dance game?
Right.
The rhythm games, dude.
The rhythm game. That thing
Love
gets me
the
so
rhythm
pumped
games.
up. Just the opening music, the
Actually, the rhythm games are pretty fun.
I guess like to me, like I always enjoy a single player element to a party game, or just generally just games that just maps that are fun. I don't know, like none of the maps are fun.
Suck.
Yeah,
Maps suck ass.
in the game.
Yeah, I mean, like they have a whole challenge road that you have to do single player. That's like you basically play all the mini games, and maybe there's like a different challenge to it. But that's really it. And then of course, like, you know, if you do everything, it's like you're the superstar.
Yeah,
That's yep. God, I remember playing single player through Mario Party 8 and then like getting to a final as if like story mode boss fight with Bowser. That was wild.
It's funny because I just like I think about I think about like how big a lot of these like a lot of these Switch games have been, like Super Mario Odyssey and Breath of the Wild and stuff like that. Like the Mario, I just felt like the Mario Party that they ended up releasing, that they refer to as Super Mario Party, just kind of ended up being like kind of like down the middle overall in terms of Mario Party experience. Just like, all right, it's a thing, it's here, it exists.
I think it's been a big go-to right now for me and my girlfriend during quarantine.
Yeah.
But so I definitely wanted to talk about it, and you know, its positives and negatives.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it is kind of down the middle.
Yeah, but but that's a good thing though, because going back to like the theme, like as being thankful for a game, like even a game that's like shitty, if you could bond over people over it, like it's great, and like to me, Super Mario Party is not that shitty. Like we criticize it, but it's a good game. It's a decent game where you could enjoy it for long periods of time and play it over and over again.
It's essentially that Larry David meme where he's slamming the door and he says, "Fuck you, and I'll see you tomorrow."
Any other thoughts on Super Mario Party?
Make another one, but better boards.
Yeah.
More boards,
And,
please.
online capability.
Give me more boards. I'm bored with the boards.
I feel like we gotta get a bigger, better Mario Party. We gotta get a Mario Kart 9. You get step it up, Nintendo. You got a lot of shit on your agendas.
I don't know.
All
That's been the theme, at least with Mario Party and Mario Kart, is like, man, this is so much fun. I just wish the racetrack or the board was just better.
Yeah, 1000%.
Like, just one last thing. Like, the fact that they went back to boards, like, traditional boards at all, is a good sign. So.
Sure. No, absolutely. Like, I mean, I can't speak to, like, what the history of the Mario Party boards are, because I just haven't really played, like, a ton of them, but I don't know. Like, they're like, the maps are okay, but I don't hate them. Like, I think that they're fine. They do their job. They're obnoxious at times with, like, some of the obstacles, but it, like, I don't know. I can, if they could expand on it a little bit more, make them more interesting, then yeah, it would work out.
I know you're hiding the boards, Nintendo. Give me them boards.
Matt, Walsh has like his Switch remotes like pointing at the Nintendo headquarters, like just banging on the doors, trying to break in. Give me the boards.
I might just have to Joy-Con drift my car a little to the left. Play a little dance. See your headquarters right there. I can see the boards behind the glass. Give me them.
All right. Next up, we got an interesting one here. It's a classic. Emma, you could correct me, Anthony, on this. Is it an MMO RPG in this one? In Wildstar?
Yes.
Okay, this is Wildstar, folks. Here's Anthony.
So Wildstar was a action MMO RPG, whatever. I'm gonna give you guys just an image to look at while I talk about it a little bit more. So in 2005, a bunch of developers from Blizzard who made World of Warcraft left and made their own studio, aiming to make a better MMO than World of Warcraft. And during their mission, they recruited all these devs from other high-profile games like Diablo 2. And they worked for 9 years to realize their vision. And when they were done, they launched Wildstar. And Wildstar was an MMO that catered to hardcore raiders. So people who get ready for this endgame coordinated content to really get the best out of the game. And when I played it, I was never interested in any of it. I was sucked in by the music, the art. It's basically like Ratchet and Clank meets like Cold War, like Soviet spy era aesthetics with like a real like revolutionary kind of, not American Revolutionary War, but like the little underfunded guy versus the big evil corporation kind of thing. It had a lot of really appealing strings to it. And what I just shared with you guys, for anybody listening, it's this like forest with these overgrown golden trees and like these old ruins right in the center of the map, and in the back we have a spaceport, and a little bit closer we have like this autumn park. This isn't a level that anybody else created. This is my own home level in the game. Because
awesome.
While you're doing all of these like story missions and exploring the world and getting like reputation with all these factions, you're unlocking housing decor and like housing plots. And if you went inside those old ruins, you would find a bar filled with like all these characters from these towns that I've been to, and they're watching a stage production where a hologram dungeon boss is on stage with like a mannequin. And there's even a hidden door in my house that would take you to like the spy headquarters for my faction. And when I played this game, it was so easy to get lost in like it's not truly single player content, but like the story content that you can kind of go through on your own. But I also played both factions, both like the scrappy underdogs who were just trying to live, and the big evil Dominion, who is like this authoritative religious leader with a massive armada. And I joined these guilds, and I raided with entire teams of people. One of my first raid nights, the guild leader said, "Alright, so here's what you're going to need to study up for the raid night tomorrow night." And he sent me a 63-page PDF containing all the bosses, the strategies, what each person needs to bring to the table, what you need to watch out for, the phases in the boss fights, what causes the entire team to lose 15 minutes of progress and start over. And oh my god, all of it was so cool. It was just taking you to a space you knew you never would get to on your own. And it was kind of ugly sometimes. We would fight in like this scientific lab where like this construct created these cruel experiments that could fight 20 people at once. And sometimes somebody died and they were a healer, and then everybody else slowly chipped away until they died. And people got screamed at and yelled at. And one person even left the raid team in tears. And there were high points too. There was a time where we killed like the second boss, my second ever raid boss that I killed. And they said, "Alright, Dusty, you were drinking from the hydrant tonight." And in most raid situations, when you kill a monster and loot drops, you either say whether you want the loot drop or whether you need the loot drop. And then you roll a dice to see if you get it. He assigned me every single piece of loot that dropped from that monster. And it was a tradition to help bring new players into the raiding sphere and just overwhelm them with all this cool shit. And so it was really amazing to be part of these communities and see the game in this way, and to have your own characters with their own housing plots. One of them even had like this thing that I did for Halloween where it was covered in a dense fog, and I hid all these golden skulls around the map, and the trees were alive with like these creatures hiding in the darkness. And we had a guild meeting room where lightning flashed in from the windows, and there were sitting spaces, and all of it was stuff that I just brought in and assigned this specific place and this specific function. And the game shut down because it kind of like bled players over time because the content didn't release fast enough for people to enjoy it. And then when they moved to Steam and went free to play, they had a massive server issue that they didn't patch for a week. So everybody who had any interest in the game tried to play it, got frustrated, and left. And so the game very slowly like went into maintenance mode, and you can tell that no content was coming out anymore. And then eventually they just pulled the plug on it, and they said, "Sorry guys, the game's done." And I just remember the last day that the servers were open, I went around, and even my guildmates who left like 3 years ago, you could still go to their housing plots and see what they did with their imagination, what kind of props they scaled up to their maximum size and hid somewhere. And it was just, it's a game that kind of transcended what I think games normally are to me. And I'm grateful that I was able to experience it while it was here.
Damn. That's like, it just strikes like a very like emotional chord when it comes to just experiences with other people, especially like during like these times, especially when like it's hard to be able to hang out with people because it's of the, you know, because not being able to actually go and see people and things like that. So when you can have like an online community and like be able to interact with them and create these things all through an online space, that it's incredibly thrilling. I think back about the early days of Minecraft for me, when I was so super into the game and I had people that I played with a ton, and we would create these amazing things and we participate in like fun events and things like that, and we would just it was the like there was just so much joy about having those experiences, and to lose that space and to not be able to go back to it, it's heartbreaking. It really is. And obviously, like they had their issues with keeping the game running, and so I mean it just happens though, and when it comes with those services, it's just that those things don't last forever. It's just sad that it kind of ended prematurely.
Yep, well said.
I also, like, from my perspective of not having somebody had ever played it at all, but witnessing how invested Anthony was in it and how much he loved it, and then, like, watching the demise of it. And, like, isn't this the game that they announced exactly when the servers were going to end? And, like, the servers were flooded with people coming in and, like, just watching the game literally deteriorate around them. Like, it was a very chaotic, in my opinion, and like violent way to like end a game. And I remember it being like that you actually logged on and we watched it literally die. Like you stood in it as it died, and it was so crazy to me that happened, and it was so emotional. And even hearing you talk about it to me is like, I hear the inflection in your voice and I know how emotional it is that it ended, that it's just like, to me it has had such a powerful, potent presence.
Yeah, I mean, when the servers came down, like, they announced well in advance when it would be going down. So, on the literal last day, all the GMs, which are game masters, you know, people who work for the company and can do whatever they want in the game, they held parties in game, and people would come over and talk to each other, and the GMs would do all this silly shit in game, but I was there right up until the game client forced me out. And it's tough knowing that, like, this world that you created is gone, but also all your friends' worlds. They had, like, these special skies that they picked out, this music that they picked out. All of their houses were different, and it was them. Even if they haven't signed into the game in 3 years, you could always go back to that spot, and you would always experience what is essentially their mind that they put into a game. So it's like it almost transcended what a game traditionally is, and the worst part is that it's totally gone. Right. But the good news is there are a team of really dedicated fans who are working on a private server. So one day, eventually, if they succeed, people will be able to log in and play the game again. Obviously, you'd be starting from scratch. They can't recover any data from the actual server, but at least you can kind of experience what it was like again.
That would be wonderful. I hope it happens for you guys, for people who love the game.
Yeah, that sounds amazing, and it's unlike any other MMO experience I've had. The only MMO I really ever got invested in was Wizard 101, and yeah, fun to laugh at. But that was what I played, and I kind of felt like a similar sense of community. I replayed a bit of it with Gabe recently. And it's not nearly as populated as it was, of course. But there's something about an MMO and just the sense of community that can be built, and knowing that you're going through these same things with a lot of other people that I definitely relate to. And I definitely would have been all over this game had I known about it when it was active.
You can really hear just how, like, you know, like, passionate and important it was to, at the very least, you, and that makes me so much more interested in it. And just how just like what was going on with it, you know?
And like I think too, like when you say Ratchet and Clank, like I'm not a big Ratchet and Clank, like I haven't really played a lot of the games, but like I don't know, like that art style and that like that kind of like that, even that, like the way you described it just now, just very much intrigued me. Like, huh, okay, that's interesting.
I found an article that actually somebody recorded and has detailed like the ending of the game and how people reacted to it. So I'm just gonna like drop that link in if anybody's interested, because it actually has footage of when the server shut down and how everybody was celebrating.
Yeah, I might drop it in the podcast description. I also like just thinking about it, like puts like a lump in my throat. Just like just this idea of like the just people coming to like, and like when you said Kelsey, that like how people were kind of like how it was almost how it's a celebration. Like this game that people worked really hard on is going away. Like everything that they did was going away, but it was a celebration almost in the same sense as like they're celebrating having the experience in the first place and celebrating the fact that they were able to get like able to have it in their lives. And like I think if there's one, I know that obviously it did not work out for Carbine Studios and you know for the people that you know the people behind the game, but like I can't imagine that they I can't imagine that they look back in those videos and not feel a sense of pride and joy in what they at least tried to attempt. Any other thoughts on Wildstar?
Is it possible for us to do a Gaming Coop podcast without devolving into existential crises?
Sorry, guys.
Well,
all of the best games do that, though. I feel like
yeah.
so.
No, I know. Totally.
It was, and plus the prompt I think does it too. The fact that it's games that we're thankful for. I mean, like that. I feel like Anthony, like basically that's like very up there in terms of the like being thankful. If not, that's like the definition of being thankful for a game right there.
Totally.
So yeah, we will move on to our next game in just a little bit, but first. We have a mid-segment, and it's going to be a doozy. I hope we can work this out. This was an idea that I pitched to Walsh, and Walsh is going to make a reality. Tell us, Walsh, how you going to do this?
Okay, alright. Listen with your ears. Alright? Okay, hold on.
Only if you stop talking like that.
Okay. Hold on. I wrote out the numbers in my notes to just copy and paste, but it's not copying the numbers next to them, so I'm just taking a picture and I am sending it to you all. Alright, each of you are going to roll 2 20-sided dice. Chris just added the dice bot to the chat, so you guys will be able to do this, which I am typing, and you will get 2 numbers. And depending on those 2 numbers, you will go to the list here, you will grab your 2 games, and I want you to pitch to the rest of us a game that combines these 2 here. And not just in the sense of, and in my example, I rolled a 10 and 11, which is Dishonored and Bloodstained. I tried to grab, a handful of games that we've talked about previously, some other very well-known games, and in the sense that instead of me being like, it's the Dishonored guy, but he's in Bloodstained. Not just taking characters and just putting them in the other situation, but how it affects the plot. What does that do? What's the story now? And
how are game mechanics different?
Yeah. What changes? And yeah, there's some other stuff in case you guys like roll the same number twice or anything like that. Don't hit any like spoilers. It's like, yeah, but now in this, that big spoiler for one of my games still happens. It's like, oh wait.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know how good we are going to be at this, but we'll try our best.
It's improv.
We'll try. All right. So everybody, roll your 2d20. Of course, if you're not too familiar with one of the games that you rolled for, you can always roll another d20 and switch it. Okay, so with that, we begin with Anthony.
All right. So I rolled Skyrim and World of Horror. This is the obscure indie game that I brought up a few podcasts ago. And it's the one where, like, you are basically put in this, like, strategy management sim where you explore these horror mysteries and fight these creatures and urban legends and these, like, body horror archetypes. So if we talk about that in terms of Skyrim, they actually have one of their gods. I'm forgetting what his name is. He made the Agma Infinium. Hermaeus Mora, who is like the Daedric god of knowledge, but specifically like forbidden knowledge. His knowledge corrupts and destroys and transforms. So I imagine that it would be something like you are a Nord who stays at an inn and investigates these stories brought to you by visitors to the inn. And somebody will say, I was investigating this lead for a treasure and I saw this like horrible disfigured creature in this dungeon. And then like you go to investigate it and maybe they were wrong initially, but then you end up fighting something that's like beyond comprehension. So I see it as like a game of where you still have that like treasure investigation feedback loop of Skyrim, combined with the careful time management, the combat, and the horror aspect of World of Horror.
Awesome.
Whoa.
I'd play it.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
All right, Chris, what'd you get?
All right, I got Kirby and Pokemon, and so this was perfect for me. So this is because I don't play a lot of Pokemon, but I'll tell you this. I'll tell you this is how I imagine a Kirby Pokemon game working out. And you guys could defame me if you want if it doesn't work out the way I want it.
I will judge you harshly on both.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know this is right up your alley. I know, Gabe. So I'm thinking that the way that a lot of Kirby games roll is that there's like 7 worlds in which you play, and like each level you have to kind of go through kind of like a typical platforming level with, with getting copy abilities to get through certain challenges and such like that. I'm thinking that it's Kirby, but he's a Pokemon trainer, and he is going around basically catching Pokemon in his mouth and becoming those Pokemon, essentially using the abilities that they have. And the bosses at the end of each world are the gym leaders, in which he gets the various badges, the fire gym badge or whatever the fuck, electric gym badge. Like each of those worlds basically end with a gym leader battle, and I think like the ultimate like final boss of the game is just how like the Kirby game, how the Pokemon games usually end, where it's like you play like a series of like the I get what's usually like the final bosses, like they're not gym leaders still,
the Elite Four.
Like,
the Elite Four.
There you
Elite
go.
Four
Boom.
champion.
So like it's kind of like the Elite Four battles, and it's still it uses Kirby fighting mechanics, but Kirby he has, unlike where like he only can have one ability at a time, he has an arsenal of Pokemon that he can use to activate their abilities and become them and to use against a specific Pokemon. And I don't know if it would happen where like if Kirby dies, like if he dies with one ability, he could just get back up with a new ability, like kind of like how a Pokemon faints and you replace it with a new Pokemon. I don't know how that would work, but yeah, it's just something along those lines, I think.
No, it's like trying to beat Pokemon with one Pokemon.
Yes.
So you're telling me Kirby is the Pokeball?
Basically, yes.
All right, I'll go next. I rolled Night in the Woods and Paper Mario.
Ooh.
So this is how we're gonna do it. Gonna be story heavy, of course. Gonna go after the more story heavy Paper Mario games, as well as Night in the Woods also being story heavy. Art styles, we're gonna merge them. They're gonna have they're gonna be made of paper. They're gonna move around in 3-dimensional space like in Paper Mario, but gonna have the same like 2D appearance that Night in the Woods characters do.
Okay.
Rather than kind of stay in Possum Springs, to kind of take from Paper Mario and the worlds that Paper Mario goes through, they're also going to explore the titular woods, as well as the mountains around where they are in the Appalachian part of Pennsylvania.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what type of game it would be. I guess it would be like that turn-based combat like Paper Mario. There would be a lot of jumping because you can do that in both. And you learn a terrible lesson at the end.
Perfect.
Jess, have you played Night in the Woods?
No, it's on. Matt had downloaded it on my. Walsh had downloaded it on my Switch, so I will have it eventually.
I recommend it, but
I watched like the first like 20 minutes. Someone played through it, and I was like, "This looks great." So I can't wait to get my Switch back and play.
I've been trying to give it to you.
I know, but I know if you give it to me, I'm gonna fail my finals.
I'll let you get through your finals first, so you're not distracted.
So you can give it back to me at Christmas.
It's perfect Christmas gift.
Buy my own Switch back.
You know what? The fact that I already love like the Night in the Woods characters, though, and then like the idea of like them being like my party in like an RPG
in Paper Mario, yeah. Night in the Woods characters being a party. Love it.
Yeah. All right, Kelsey, you're up.
So I, after many failed attempts, rolled Old Man's Journey in Skyrim. And so I did not realize at first that I have to create a brand new game because I'm poor at reading instructions. So I very quickly just came up with, I'm just going to call it, I don't even know. I don't know what the name of it is. But it's essentially a mini game released by Bethesda because maybe if they have a mini game to handle, they'll be better about their timing and actually get something out. Fight me. I don't care. And so it's essentially like a mini Elder Scrolls game where the old man is a Daedric prince, and your entire quest is that you have to save a child at the end of the quest, but the Daedric prince keeps changing the terrain and altering it, so it makes it very difficult to actually get to the end and get to the child. But when you ultimately succeed, because this is a feel-good story, and we're going to make sure that you do, and the child is saved, you receive a Daedric artifact, and it's called the Old Man's Backpack, and it gives you 300 plus storage.
I love it.
Wow.
And that goes towards the new Elder Scrolls game that'll come out in 2029.
I think that's probably rushing Bethesda a little bit, so might want to push it into the 2040s.
Oh yeah, that's true. All right. Jess.
Hi. So I have gotten Paper Mario and Minecraft.
Oh my god.
I have played neither game, but here's my attempt. So alright, so I imagine that Mario and his 2D thing would come to the 3D world, which is what Paper Mario is, and he would go into the Nether in Minecraft, and that would be like Bowser's castle, and then they would just like, and I think what they would do is you would have to, the goal of the game is obviously to get Peach back because it's Mario. That's the point of all the games. So I think what they have to do is, instead of mining for resources or whatever, because that's, lame and time consuming, what you have to do is you have to kind of do, it's kind of like more of a puzzle game where you have to like do all the jumps and run through and like have to figure it out. It's more like a puzzle game that way.
Sure.
And I think that's what this game would be. Granted, I've played neither, so I don't know if any of that was justice. But
Paper Mario, at least with the newest game, it's very it's going in the puzzle direction. So yeah, that would make sense.
Oh boy, I did not know.
Yeah, Gabe.
All right, so yet another Paper Mario, but this time with Dishonored.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
Sorry. Anyway, all right. So Paper Mario with Dishonored. I have the only experience I have with Dishonored is Anthony's experience, shared experience with it from the last Gaming Coop episode. So I'm kind of gonna be stretching a little bit based on what I can remember. So it would be like like the other two. It would be Dishonored in a type of Paper Mario format, where like, well, actually, I'll make it different. Paper Mario, but in Dishonored format. So it would be in a 3D world, like from a first-person view. But it has a combat system similar to Paper Mario, and like a level-up system similar to Paper Mario. So where like you can only level up your HP, your badge points, which are equipables that'll give you different traits, and your FP, or like special points to let you use special attacks. So I figured that it'll be it would kind of lend to where it's like the combat of Dishonored, at least a little bit. I could be just wrong, but
sure,
based on what I can remember, that's what I would imagine.
No, I think you did a great job. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Can't wait to jump on rats 5 times in a row.
It's just your party's full of rats.
Yeah.
Okay. I re-rolled what I originally got because I wasn't confident in it, and then I rolled double 12s, which was both Skyrim. So, due to the rules of this, I must now do a mix of Skyrim and Skyrim for double Skyrim. So be prepared for Sky Rim Rim, in which
You could have re-rolled.
So you are given a character creator, but instead of it being, you go down to hold your controller and they're like, no. And then you are given like a human mannequin, and you have to like mold it like clay into the perfect form for you to possess. And then once you are confident in that form that you have molded and sculpted with your own hands, you play as that character in a Skyrim-esque world. However, instead of it being the normal Skyrim map, it is the actual literal size of a fucking continent. And if you step on an insect, people will shoot each other in the street.
I am so in. Like, I am so in. Sign me up. I want it.
10 out of 10 has a little something for everybody.
A little something for everybody.
The Elder Scrolls, Skyrim, Elder Scrolls, the
Elder Scrolls.
You forgot the 2 elders.
Well, no, because it's the scrolls about the Elder Scrolls, so it's the Elder Scrolls.
Ah, okay,
Oh.
I see.
All right, next.
Yeah, that's it. That's
Okay, that's double.
That's the intermission.
God, because like just full like Spy Kids, where like they mold the faces and then like turn them into those creatures. I want to play as one of those.
You have to play
I have a
George
feeling that
Lopez
we-
in like a really badly CGI'd fish tank.
Why do I feel like this is
Shark Boy
the
and Lava
first
Girl,
time that
not
we've had a
Spy
Spy
Kids.
Kid
Whatever,
reference?
same difference.
You guys seen that new Shark Boy and Lava Girl?
Don't talk
Yeah,
about it.
Taylor Lautner isn't in it.
It looks like a porn parody. I can't. But then again,
No Taylor Lautner? What the fuck?
Yeah, they brought back Lava Girl, but they didn't bring back Shark Boy.
that's why Shark
actors.
Boy's wearing
The
a mask.
actors.
The mask that Shark Boy's wearing, it doesn't do it. Like, come on.
No.
Well, Matt, they should all be wearing masks, especially right now.
Topical humor.
Wow.
All right,
Wow.
next.
Next game.
Thank you for playing my game.
Next up on our gaming list, if I can actually pull up our list here. Okay, it is the newest game on our list today. Part-Time UFO by Hal Lavatory. Gabe, take us into the UFO.
It's gonna be very difficult to like make this even as remotely interesting as Anthony's because of the emotional attachment that comes with it.
No, it's totally fine. I think even if it's just a small level of enjoyment, I think we'll all embrace it.
I'm going to
ready
enjoy
for
it so much, it's going to be ridiculous. So I need you to tell me about it. Tell me what it is. Tell me about the part-time UFO.
Okay, So, Part-Time UFO is a physics puzzle game. You play as a little UFO named Jobski, who finds his way onto Earth and immediately gets put to work for a farmer who has dropped all of his oranges. And
Well, ain't that just the way?
yes, and you pick up all the. You have to with Jobski. You have a claw, like a crane game claw. You have to grab things with, and as you move, the claw will sway as if like physics are actually a thing. So you have to keep in mind like where to put your items and how they're situated so that they don't fall off. Because at the end of every round, there's like a balance test where the items shake a little bit to see if they are actually like balanced well. Because if they fall off while shaking, you have to pick it up, and there's a time limit. And each stage has 3 goals, 2 of which are stage specific, and one of them is the timer. To get a gold in all 3 of them, the 2 stage specific ones, you have to do whatever the challenge is. But for the timer, you have to beat it under 100 seconds. And some of these things can get really intense, despite the appearance of the game. Like, you have to really critically think on where to place things to defeat certain challenges. And so the game is score based, and the more score you get, the higher amount you get paid. And whenever you place an item on whatever needs to be stacked, you'll get a time bonus. So you can get up to, I think, 160 seconds at max. So as long as you don't go below 0, you'll be fine, and you'll get the gold. I am almost done with the game. I just forget how many stages I have left, but so far throughout the entire thing, I've had a blast because it's just a neat little game. And like how it started was that it was actually a mobile app on iOS and Android, but it got I think it's still up, but the Switch version is like the definitive edition because it has extra content and stuff like that. And it's just, from what I've heard, it controls a lot better compared to like using a touchscreen. But another thing about the game is with the money that you earn, you can buy different costumes, and costumes serve different functions in the game. Where like there's a ninja costume that makes you move super fast, but you have less control over the items that you're holding. Or one of my personal favorites, it's like a sleepy top. No, not a sleepy top. It's like a winter hat and a scarf. You move significantly slower, but that means you have more control over the items that you're holding. And there is one for the Box Boy, QB. I forget which one that one does. And there's also a Kirby one, which I haven't gotten yet. But each costume has a different function, and they also have a different emotes that you can perform with the triggers. And it's just a bunch of neat little things that you can collect. And
I can just say, like, it is absolutely adorable looking. I love the aesthetic of it.
It is such a goddamn cute game. And the soundtrack is really good too, because there's this one motif that they use throughout all of the songs, and it sounds really good in all of the songs. I think all of them are in major because of it, and having a soundtrack that's entirely major can be a really difficult thing to pull off, but it sounds great.
I hope you guys will agree with me here. I've been looking over the screenshots, and this is making me feel so nostalgic for, like, DS games. Like, this has that, like, hand-drawn aesthetic.
Yes.
Like, WarioWare, Elite Beat Agents. Like, this is taking me right back. I love this game. It's, like, how do I feel nostalgic for a game that I haven't played yet?
Well, who did we say were the creators? HAL Laboratory.
Yeah,
right?
HAL Laboratory.
Yeah,
That's
it. That's why.
It's the same people who made Kirby and you said Box Boy, right?
Box Boy.
I didn't like the one thing I didn't realize when I was doing research on this game for the segment. I knew that this game came out. I knew that I was interested in it because any game that looks cute, I will immediately my ears perk up immediately. But I was like I'm now like even more interested because it's literally a claw. It's like a claw machine game.
Yes.
That is but in a video game form, but it works, and it looks like it works very well. And I'm so excited to try this out. Like, and it's very cheap, like only $9 on the Switch store. Like that's kick ass.
It is most certainly worth that price because you get a lot of stages and a lot of costumes, and there are even some of the challenges are actually really difficult. Like, there are certain challenges where you have to like get there's this type of stage called the lab, and you have to place a lot of blocks in a certain formation to fit in this grid, but there is a little red lens they have to get in a certain spot, and really makes you think of how to position these blocks, and that's just one of the things. Like, and on some other stages you have to really take a look at the background to see if you can pull something from there, or like something that's barely on the edge of the screen. You have to keep a very watchful eye for these things, and it's just so great.
That's cool.
It sounds like something that would make me panic.
I mean, if you're trying to get all the golds, yes, but it's a very laid-back game otherwise.
But like, did you say that there's a timed element?
That's only if you're going for all the golds.
Okay.
Oh, so you could complete each puzzle without the timer then.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That sounds like a safe space for me.
I probably should have made mention of that earlier, sorry.
No, I just have like a really, like, I can't do clock shit. Like, just can't. I panic.
Yeah, you just lose out on the pay bonus from not hitting the time limit, but yeah, you can still win.
Okay. That sounds great.
Yeah. It makes me like super excited to try it out. And what would you say? Like, I know you said that you're almost near the end, but like how you think that this is like it's $9 and it's worth it for that because it's not like a short game. Like, you feel like you could log like 6 or 7 hours into this, at maybe more.
Let me look up how many stages there are.
Okay. In the meantime, it could see, it just looks. I see this one image of them trying to put like a T-Rex together, fossilized T-Rex together. That looks really cute. I love the the farm aesthetic as well for like the early levels, I'm guessing. It's kick ass. Any other thoughts on Part-Time UFO right now?
Before we even talked about it, this was definitely one that was on my radar. That I already looked really interesting to me, and I'm definitely going to buy it after this.
Hell yeah!
All right, so for the stage list, there are certain themes for each stage. Like, one's a farm, one's a worksite, one's an ocean, one's a high school, one's a museum, one's a circus, one's a laboratory, one's a restaurant, which you have to make certain dishes with. What else? And there's also the moon.
Okay.
And I haven't gotten to the moon yet, but it's such a good time.
Yeah. And it sounds deep, which is like for a $9 game, that's perfect.
It's a completionist's dream, which I am.
Yeah. No, I enjoy completing games as well. Like 100%ing, whatever the term I guess would be. Yeah. Any last thoughts on Part-Time UFO? Very nice game, Gabe. I'm very excited to play it myself now.
Do they explain why it's called Part-Time UFO?
Oh, because you're working.
Oh,
yeah,
so you are the part-time UFO.
That's working.
Can you become the full-time UFO though?
I don't think that's.
Can you give the
explained.
UFO benefits? Like,
yeah,
I think
I'm concerned if they
does he have a union?
I was gonna say I'm concerned if he's unionized. Like, I'm okay. It's fine. I'm good.
Yeah, you're just doing a lot of odd jobs. That's like the story.
Yeah, I got you.
Oh, so they're in college.
I mean, okay. Here's the thing: Jobski has an apartment.
No way.
Oh.
Unrealistic. I'm not playing.
And it's like a fully furnished apartment.
Not in New York.
Like, do I get to choose what's in the apartment?
No, but you get to choose what you wear in the apartment.
That's all right. That's fair. That's valid.
It's already more than I get to choose in my life.
Oh no.
All right. Next up, oh boy, we're going down a wormhole for this one. MySims. Hit us with it, Matt.
All right, so I'm not going to sit here and say that this is a good game. But it is a game and a series that is very near and dear to my heart. I think I went down a wormhole on a past Coop about this. Might have been the one that it was just the four of us. But MySims was a game series that I did a lot of when I did YouTube things, and through that is how I got to the MySims Wiki website and subsequently met Chris. So you can thank this series; it's entirely to blame for the reason why we have gathered here today.
Oh, I love that though.
It's really sweet.
No, it's awesome.
I thought the reason was Mario Kart.
Well, it started with Mario Kart.
I thought it was
at
in
the very
Minecraft.
beginning, but
No,
And
This
Minecraft.
was-
And Minecraft was part of it.
and Minecraft, Minecraft, really solidified.
I thought it was the Barbie simulator.
Oh yeah, you're right. That was
I thought it was Frozen dental surgery.
okay. We're done.
You can't let Matt, like Walsh and we can't like bullshit together because it just escalates.
So MySims, I'm just going to talk about the original because the other games in the series I may talk about on later Coops. The original game, you basically help run a town. You help build it up from it being nothing, just a few buildings, to basically whatever you want it to be. You get to build the buildings, move the Sims in that you want, and complete tasks for them to make their businesses better. Or if they're just in a house, you can give them gifts and make them like you more. Things like that. There's a really, really interesting crafting process that you can basically get as into as you want to get. There's a lot of options for building the things for the tasks that I really appreciate. I always try to make my things look as cool as possible while also satisfying the requirements. I go all out on my buildings. I'll have to do something where I show off all the buildings that I have because I'm very proud of them. And there's a decent amount of freedom if you just like making shit. This is a game that you'd have fun playing. And I recommend the PC version. The Wii version takes so long to load, and the PC version with even just the slower load times is so much more worth it.
You can keep going, but it's available on Origin, correct?
It is available on Origin. That is the only place currently where you can legally purchase it.
Okay, cool. Just curious.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Anything else about it?
While you're searching for other things, I will say so that this game, MySims, was I got MySims DS first.
Me too, actually.
Was not a huge fan of that, but at the time I was starting to become aware of differences between mobile versions of games and their console the console versions, because it tended to be that the console versions of games were better. So I was just like, okay, let me see what the Wii version looks like and feels like, and I played the Wii version, and I fell head over heels over the game. I enjoyed it. It reminded me a lot of Animal Crossing in the sense of like you had this town that you move people into and you have this little community, and you're not as dedicated to the Sims and their interactions as you are maybe with an Animal Crossing, where you care about like taking care of like you care about your conversations with your fellow neighbors, but very similar to Animal Crossing in the sense that you can do tasks for them, and especially the commercial Sims that run businesses in your town, like whether it's a pizza parlor or an ice cream shop. You can clearly see where my priorities were when moving in Sims. And it really is like you can create the world that you want almost, even though like yes, like the town layout will always be the same between players. Like it's not like randomly generated like other games, but
And you're limited in the number of plots that you have.
Right, but like the composition of your town can change. Like the only people you can't move out is like the mayor of the town, and Buddy the bellhop in the hotel, because you need both of those things. So it's very nice.
Yeah, it is very nice. Another thing about each sim is that like they all have their own interests. So that makes each character a little diverse. They all act relatively differently in terms of where they show up. If a person hates, if their hated interest is fun, they're not going to show up at the nightclub kind of deal. So I'm going to send the interests in chat, and I want all of you to pick one of these that you would say that you love, one that you like, and one that you hate. And even if you don't hate it, it's going to be a dislike.
Right before we do that, I just wanted to also mention, like, for those, I know that there's I know Kelsey, like you know like the herbs and how like they did like streeties, artsies, richies and all that. It's kind of along those lines where you have like
fine, whatever.
Okay.
No, I'm just kidding.
Where you kind of have like the personalities, and like the certain personalities get along better with others, and and there's people that there's interests that people hate as well.
Yes. So these are them. I'll kind of describe them. Cute is kind of like very like cutesy. It's pretty self-explanatory. Cutesy, more girly stuff. Geeky is like nerd shit, like video games, Dungeons and Dragons, etc. Tasty would be you're very into food. If you run a restaurant, things like that. Fun would be you like dancing, you like partying, stuff like that. Studious would be you're into the books, you're into, I guess, more studious things. I don't know how else to explain that.
Schools,
academia, school stuff. And then spooky would be you like the creepy shit. So I consider myself, my love would be studious, my like would be geeky, and then my hate would be cute.
Tasty.
Tasty. I've changed a lot since when I used to make my Sims OC on the MySims wiki. So I would say I'm geeky first and then tasty. Would be my order of like love and then like, and then hate would be spooky.
I would have to say I love spooky, like geeky, and I hate fun.
Wow.
That's always my favorite, because like this person hates fun.
like legit though, like would you like based off of the prompt that Matt gave, you would say you hate fun out of all of them?
Like, the way that he described fun, it sounds like specifically, like, the partying scene, the dancing, nightclub scene. That's not me.
Yeah,
so
I get that. No, that's valid. That's very valid.
For me, I'd say I would like tasty or spooky, and I wouldn't like studious. Okay. I am a dumb bee.
I would say for me, love geeky, like fun, hate studious.
Guess we won't get along then. No, kidding. Jess and Kelsey?
I would say for me, I would love geeky, like studious, and hate spooky.
I would love tasty, obviously. I'm having the worst deja vu tonight. I feel like we've all already done this 1,000 times and we haven't. It's so weird.
No.
I love tasty. I like geeky, and I hate fun.
All right. Very cool.
That's cool. That's cool. I like that a lot.
I recommend this game. Like I said, if you like creating things, then this is a fun game to do that with. If you want much better writing and still this creation aspect, I will direct your attention to MySims Kingdom for Wii, which is the more that I think about it, probably the best game in the series, and I'll bring it up some other time.
Mhm.
But the humor and writing in that game is some of the most charming that I've ever seen. It's fantastic, and I think Chris, you can agree.
Yeah, no, I 1000%. I feel like we've had discussions, and I'm the one that kind of like swayed you in the Kingdom direction.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I was Agents for a while, but
Yeah.
Kingdom just.
I will say, like, what we've gone very. MySims is one of those series that I can go in a deep dive of what made the series great and where I think the series went wrong, because ultimately there hasn't been a game in a decade.
Yes.
And so and there's some reasons for that. That, you know, just one, the studio eventually just shut down. So, you know, I think that was part of it. Also, just where the direction that they went in was very strange. But again, we could save that discussion for another day. But at least for MySims as it was and what it was originally was meant to be, yeah, it's just a wholesome, fun experience. It wasn't meant to be anything incredible. It's just nice. Make you feel good, happy, fun times.
Yep. I sent a picture to the chat. This is your Lord and Savior, Buddy the Bellhop.
Yes.
MySims Racing sequel.
So are you telling me that Dusty Hogg did not make an appearance?
No, none of the classic like Sims made an appearance. I don't believe. I think it was mainly just. I think they were almost all original characters for the most part.
Fine.
Aw, a Flebnar.
I think we went into the interesting a bit, but I just want to get like generally any thoughts on the game for what people have seen of it or know of it or have played it just before we
I
move
always
forward.
thought it was really dumb. Like just having like being completely like just like judgmental and terrible.
I just always thought that it looked really dumb.
But
I will also say.
but
Oh, is there a but?
No, I just always thought it looked really.
I think
No,
that
I
she
know.
was just expressing
Yeah,
her feelings.
like I literally have never touched it, and I'm sure that was great, and I appreciate what it means to you guys. But I always just looked at it and I was like, that looks like a baby game. That looks like the baby version of Sims. It's stupid. Like that's always what it looked like to me. Like I just never.
It was though. I mean, technically speaking, that's exactly what it was. It was.
Yep.
It was
make
the,
everything
like,
baby.
It was Make It Baby.
Make it baby Sims.
Sims Edition. I will also say the music that plays when you are in the workshop, nostalgic as fuck, super relaxing,
Mhm.
gets me going every time I hear it.
Oh,
Hell yeah. Gabe.
You know that's not what I meant.
We just said it's for babies.
We're getting mixed messages from this, guys.
I suppose.
We gotta scale it back. All right, everyone.
Also,
oh, go ahead.
I just want to acknowledge I don't usually acknowledge the chat during these recordings, but I do want to acknowledge Walsh. He asked if Buddy the Bellhop is the motherfucker who keeps dropping the fucking football, and that answer is not Buddy. And what Matt replied was no, that's Chaz McFreely, another character. That was the character that dropped. That is on Kelsey's team on the Anaconda Mountaineers. That Kelsey just kind of randomly picked out of nowhere.
In the virtual
and
ball boys league.
we have essentially, yes, that's for the
Chaz
virtual
McFreely's
ball
balls dropped.
boys. God damn it! The virtual ball boys football league that has been going on. The Anaconda Mountaineers are unfortunately winless, and we've blamed everything on Chaz McFreely.
So my balls are dropped.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kelsey, you picked this guy and you were just trashing the game.
Jess, it was like my last ditch pick, I think, and it was just because I knew that Chris was excited for somebody to pick it. And I was like, all right, fine, Chaz McFreely, whoever the frick that is. He looks like a knockoff Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
he
Yep.
looks like he's gonna take me to Flavor Village.
Oh god, I hate it.
Taste Village.
Taste Village.
Taste
Alright.
town.
I fucking love it. All right.
Can you taste the town?
Taste the rainbow. I don't know why I said that. It just
That's fine. All right, everybody,
out of my mind.
shut up. It's my girlfriend's turn.
Yes. All right. So we are wrapping things up with our guest Jess. She's coming to us to tell us the good word about her Lord and Savior Monokuma and Danganronpa.
Hey.
What up?
So I'm very thankful for Danganronpa this Thanksgiving season. It is one of the games that actually really got me into like playing on a thing that is not Nintendo. Because up until that point, I've only been playing Nintendo games. So I'd found out about this game through the anime, actually. Like, I saw it online. I don't know if you're familiar with 50% Off, the parody of Free, the swimming anime. But they had referenced the show, and I looked it up. And Matt Walsh can attest. I love murder mysteries. I love puzzles. I love all that stuff. I'm very good at them. Unless it requires, like, flipping a bucket over or something. But... but I'm very good. So me and my friend decided we were gonna play these games. There's 4 main games, and basically the whole plot. I don't want to spoil it because like it's a murder mystery. So if anyone wants to play it, like that defeats the whole point. I'm not gonna tell you, oh, this is the murderer. But basically. Sure. These 16 students get trapped in a high school or on a school trip or whatever, and they have, like, they're the best in their field. So, like, one kid is, like, the ultimate baseball player, but, like, there's this other kid who's, like, the ultimate fanfiction writer. So, like, you have to be the best at your field to come to school. And so, basically, they all get locked in, and then Monokuma, our Lord and Savior, comes up and is like, hey, if you want to get out of the school, you gotta murder somebody and get away with it, homie. And they're like, oh no, we'll never murder each other, you know, we're friends, meh, 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 power of friendship. And then, of course, somebody dies. Otherwise, there's not a game. Otherwise, there's not a game.
Yes, of course.
But I love the puzzles. I love the mystery. I have never not figured out a puzzle on my own. Like, I love them so much. But I think what that really makes this game, like, really special, besides, like, you know, going to class trials and, like, trying to figure out who done it, is that like, you have this thing called free time, where you can go and kind of, like, walk around the school and, like, talk to the other students, and, like, you kind of get, a little in-depth at their backstory, and, like, why they're doing stuff, and, like, what their motivation is, and, like, why they became the ultimate whatever. So, I really love that aspect of the game. Like, there is morals and motivation behind each character, and, like, that's for, like, all 16 in all of the games.
That's
I wish I had free time.
I just have to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it, babe. Go ahead.
No. Girl.
No, babe, go ahead.
Go. You gotta... No, I gotta... I don't want to... All right, fine. I have to say that Monokuma, I just quickly looked up what that is. The stomach is upsetting me.
It's ugly.
The actual
no, Kelsey.
cartoon.
Look up Monomi from the second game, and that'll upset you even more.
What is it? Mana...
M-O-N...
Oh, I see it.
M-O-N-O-M-I. And then cry.
But it reminds me of, like, that they have a hernia, and they need a surgery. Like, I don't like the bellies.
I know, it's gross. I hate it.
I hate it so much. And she's in a diaper.
Yeah, she is in a diaper. Hold on, I'm gonna put the picture in the chat.
This is upsetting. I don't like it.
It's terrible.
I don't like it at all. And, I don't like it. Oh my god!
Really
oh
bad.
my god, Jess, that's literally the same thing I just copied, and I was gonna paste in the group. It's
That's how
literally
you
the same
know,
photo.
Kelsey.
Oh god! All right, guys, we're gonna chop off. We're gonna. No, I'm just kidding.
All right. Did you want to wrap up what you were saying, Jess, in terms of just the game in general?
Oh, I love this game. I could talk about this game for hours and like why everyone's wrong if they hate this game. But I get why it's not for everybody because it's like that visual like story mode. So like you do have to pay attention to like everything they're saying because like the littlest thing will like come back later in like this murder. They'll be like, oh, it was 35 degrees, and they'll be like, wait a minute, 35 degrees? How does it? But yeah, but, like, I tried, my friend and I, when we were playing, we tried to play, like, a little inebriated, and it did not go well. So, like, you have to have, like, your full attention on this game. Otherwise you will lose your mind. Like
Well, my experience with this game was literally none. Like, with the exception of like, we recently had you drafted for the Ishikawa Blacksmiths of the VVBFL, and so we've played as Leon Kawada and Sakura, those two have been some of your football players, but I also been recently watching the Game Grumps play Danganronpa as well, the Trigger Happy Havoc, which is the first game. Oh boy, that game's fucked up. It is a fucked up game, but I appreciate it. I think that's it's really cool at the same time. Like I think I would appreciate the game just because I enjoy murder mysteries.
Christopher,
like
it only gets darker as the games go on. It is.
Oh, I imagine.
It is. It's like mind fucks you, and like the thing I like about it too is like the murder weapons are like, besides like the first one, are not like conventional murder weapons. Like you're like, oh yeah, a knife. Oh great, but like they get like crazier and crazier like contraptions as the games go on, and I'm just like, and I just sit there and I'm like, no way. Like whenever like the body discovery announcement comes on, when like you find the dead body, and I just sit there and I stare at the screen and I'm like, not this again, like please.
The more that I click through it, the more I'm unsettled and uneasy.
Kelsey, you have to play the game.
I'm afraid.
Kelsey, I swear, but they make the blood pink, so it's not even gross.
Oh God.
God, you don't know how much money I would pay to just watch Chris and Kelsey just play a horror game.
It's not even horror. They don't.
It's not a horror game.
I know it's not, but or even just like a slightly scary game.
So I actually am not.
I am not trying to be like insulting or like.
No,
I get it.
You're fine.
You guys would just be so funny.
I'm actually not anti-horror. I love a good scary movie. I like horror. I'm not into like sci-fi horror. I prefer more of like psychothriller type stuff. But like did we cover my trying to play Resident Evil, and I just literally handed the controller over and stayed under the covers and let Anthony play it, and I was like, good, I played it, and walked away. Like I just didn't I was like, okay, I experienced it, it's fine. But yeah, it's not no, it doesn't last very long. I eventually just hand the controller over.
Kelsey did try out Soma, which is pretty scary. She played actually a pretty decent part of it.
I feel like I definitely also handed the controller over for that one.
Oh, at parts you did. It's like this underwater facility with crazy robots that chase you around very loudly. It's a scary game.
Just to I feel like I would enjoy this game because of the fact that it's not that scary. It's creepy, and I do get a little cringed out by gore, but I don't know if I don't think this game, based off of what I've seen of it this far, doesn't seem that gory. It just seems very violent at times.
It's not gory necessarily. Like Chris, like I'm not like up for unnecessary gore, like as you've seen when we watched them play that other game before.
Yes, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I don't remember what game it was, but I don't like unnecessary horror, like gore. I don't think, but like this is like not that bad. It definitely gets violent. It definitely gets those creepy undertones, which is like the perfect amount just for me. And then there's also like those stupid moments where like characters will come out of nowhere and they'll just talk about like having to take like a shit or something.
I'm in.
Can I actually talk about the characters real quick? Based off of what I've seen, it is the most insane character design I've ever seen in a video game. Because obviously you have to make 16 unique characters in a high school.
They all have a gimmick, like is their thing too.
Right.
So they have to. They gotta
honest to God, some of them are like really, really cool looking, very pretty, or very like handsome and very cool. And then you have the ultimate fan fiction writer, which if I can fucking find him.
Yamada is his name.
Hamster Man.
Oh, Tanaka is my favorite. Gundam Tanaka is my favorite character ever, and he has the wackiest design. But hold on, I'll pull up a picture of Yamada for you.
Yeah,
the man that looks like a hamster is.
Yes.
Such a fantastic design.
Yeah, no, it's just thoroughly. I just enjoy.
This is the
seeing
writer. I'm putting him.
Yeah, that's it. That's him.
God.
That's him. I'm just like, holy shit! This dude's insane. This dude fucks.
Oh no.
You may not like it, but
He
this
likes
is what
2D.
peak male performance looks like.
He likes 2D.
He do. That's all he ever talks about.
What a fucking unit.
All right, this is my favorite character design and favorite character of Danganronpa. His name is Gundam. Please treat him nicely.
Wow.
Is he throwing small animals?
The ultimate animal breeder.
What?
I remember him in the anime, and he would just like pull animals out of his fucking coat.
Yeah, he has like hamsters in his scarf.
There's only so many things that teenagers can be good at.
I want the little hamster guy that's on his shoulder.
Oh, you mean
Oh my
Sandy?
The unit.
An absolute chonker.
Also, like, full disclosure, adopt, don't shop, but like, this is fine.
That's fine. I think that's a good thing for us to promote.
But I'm sorry, I still think that their belly buttons look like assholes. And I can't.
Outie belly buttons.
I can't get past.
Full character from the game, Kelsey's on board.
You know
Yeah.
what's funny though? Outie belly buttons in general just kind of freak me out.
Does anyone in here have an Audi?
No.
I drive a Subaru.
Any other thoughts on Danganronpa?
The anime is also very good.
Yeah, the anime
Okay.
is great.
So I mean, in terms of usually going to other people's experience, I have not played the games, but the anime was also really good. Jess, maybe you can shed some more light on it because you maybe remember it better. I remember the first anime was really good, and then I always think about it from time to time, but they were doing both a sequel and a prequel series at the exact same time.
Yeah, so the first anime, Danganronpa the animation, that is all Danganronpa the first game. So that's the whole first game, whatever. So it matches. People are upset about it because like it's too fastly paced for 24 hours of gameplay, which is true. But it's a 13-episode anime, so suck it up. You don't get as much connection or whatever. So then the second one, they have Danganronpa. They have Danganronpa Future Arc, and then they have Danganronpa Despair Arc. So Despair Arc follows the characters from the second game, up until I don't want to spoil it. So there's like up until a certain point, there are events.
Well, without talking about the plot, I just wanted to talk about how they were both coming out at the same time, and you could either watch one and then watch the other, or as the episodes were coming out, what you recommended me do is to watch like one episode and then the other as they were coming out, and I'm so glad that I did, because not only do they connect as like you go, but it just like all like the pieces start to like fall into place at the exact same time. It was I've just like never seen that with like a show like two different shows before being like, no, just like flip between the two of them like as you watch. It was just like the
final episode combined the both of them. Like that was the final episode was called Danganronpa Hope, and it was just like a 20-minute episode where it combined both the two series that have been ongoing for like the past couple seasons.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane. Like the fact that they were able to pull something like that off.
Bruh, it's great. Like that's all like kind of like original content too. Like that wasn't from any of the games. So those anime was just that's what it was.
So are those the same writers that write the games, or is it just two different companies kind of?
No, I'm pretty sure it was the same writer who did the game too.
Oh,
like
sweet.
he had a hand in it.
But then like they reveal a twist that like doesn't even affect like the characters in this one, but it like very much affects the characters in the other one, and you're like, oh my god, get out.
Wow.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, no, I do think I might eventually play it. I'm already knee deep in watching a Let's Play of the first one, so I might not play that one, but I may play another one.
The second one is my favorite. I do recommend. I do recommend the second one, but one of them, the third one, is actually a shooter game, which is crazy.
That's that was the one thing I wanted to bring up, and then we could wrap up here. Trigger Happy Havoc specifically, what I thought was fascinating about the gameplay is that it feels like different games at times, because at one moment you are walking around as your main character, who's Makoto in the first game, and you're just walking around in a 3D space, and then at other times it just becomes like a 2D storybook where you're just walking through the lines, and none of the characters are moving, but they're saying their lines, or you're just reading the lines as they say them. Or it almost becomes like a social a simulate. What's the word for it? Like those love simulation things.
Yeah, like a dating sim.
Yeah, like a little dating sim-ish. Obviously, not really no dating in the game, but like it kind of has like that kind of storybook style to it. And then there's these. It becomes like 3D and then 2D, and then like the movies where like Monokuma like assassinates like a murderer or whatever, like are super heavily like they're not like graphic in terms of bloody, but they're super like detailed in how these movies are edited as well. It's a game that like changes as it goes almost in terms of its art style, but it's also fucking insanely good. It's like I'm thoroughly enjoying what I've seen of it.
Oh yeah, no, the animation for the punishments are beautiful, beautifully crafted. Like I have no complaints anytime anyone gets murdered and the punishments are dealt. I'm happy. I've cried like a couple times at some of them though. Like some of them are sad.
Yeah, I imagine. All right.
The one thing I want to say about Danganronpa is that I haven't played the games. I know how V3 ends.
Stop. Don't talk to me about V3. I'm still hurt. That's like supposedly might be the last one.
Yeah.
Because the writer switched studios, so there potentially may be another one, but potentially not.
Also, weird thing, Spike Chunsoft, who makes Danganronpa, you know what other games they made?
What's that?
Pokemon Mystery Dungeon.
Yeah.
Ooh, wow. That's a weird put together, huh?
Specifically the first two, and Explorers of the Sky, which is one of my favorite games of all time. So that's neat.
There you go.
That is neat.
I enjoy when I find out a game studio does like two games that I enjoy. I had no idea. I was like, "Whoa, what?" Like as if none of us pay attention to like the beginning beginning of any game where they show the studios.
Who needs opening credits?
Yeah, who reads that shit? All right, folks.
There are people who work on these?
Yeah, I thought they just spawned out of the sky. That is our Thanksgiving edition of the Gaming Coop. Y'all better be meeting for Thanksgiving like this over a Discord or Zoom and not doing it in person, you selfish fucks, alright?
Should we all make bird noises to sign off?
Wait a second. I just want to wrap up by saying, please, I know that we don't upload a lot, but please go and check out the stuff that we do upload a lot more often. I think the one series that's most related to this is Virtual Ball Boys, where we are talking NFL football a lot, but we do bring in some video game elements, and we have a football league going on that is made up of video game characters. So go check that out. Follow us at Virtual Ball Boys for that. There's also Doc of Shame, which is a Total Drama Island retrospective podcast. Totally should listen to that. And also Table Party, which is a tabletop role-playing podcast. We are in the middle of a great campaign run by Walsh. So please go check out all those podcasts, and we have more to come on TCP. So follow us at Team Chaos Pods, and of course follow us at the Gaming Coop, and tell us what you've been playing using the hashtag the Gaming Coop. And with that,
can I say something real quick?
Oh, go ahead. Go hit us with it.
I probably by the time this is coming out, we're gonna have another. So even if you're not too much into Monster of the Week, or you really don't know too much about that as a like a tabletop role playing game, and maybe you're more familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, me and Kelsey's D&D one shot. That we did very similar to Underdark in the way that we did it one-on-one, but instead of me and Matt, we did it with Kelsey. That's going to be going up on the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Hey.
So if you want something to just relax and listen to, I added a lot more music. Then thank you again to Matt, of course, and you should also check out Louis Zong. But overall, thank you guys so much for listening. That's all I had to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this might end up going up on Tuesday, so we'll do, it's going to be the Gaming Coop on Tuesday, Table Party Thanksgiving edition on Wednesday, and a Virtual Ball Boys episode on Thursday, and I don't know what the plan is right now for Daka Shame, if there is any, but
Soon.
Soon is the end.
Soon.
All right, we'll gobble at the once I say my sign off. So thank you all so much for listening. Game on.
Oh, I get it, because turkey's a bird.
The Gaming Coop is brought to you by Team Chaos Productions. Follow us on Twitter at The Gaming Coop, or follow our other work at Team Chaos Pods.